When a crew foreman asks you for a dimension, they are not just looking for a number. They are looking for a direction so they can keep their team moving. In this video, I'm going to show you how to find any detail immediately and capture every field note on a tablet. This digital process ensures that you are both leading the project with the most current drawings and that you have an organized list of next steps. If you spend time searching for answers because your information is disorganized while a crew is waiting for you, you are not leading the project. You are the reason it has stopped. And if you walk away from a conversation without a record of what was decided, you are creating more work for yourself later. Every minute a crew spends waiting for an answer is an increase in labor costs that your project is losing. If you are the person in charge, you cannot afford to have your information scattered in places where it is difficult to find. I'm going to show you how I use a digital system to access the latest drawings and organize my field notes, so I can provide accurate information and lead with confidence. I was in a situation recently with a subcontractor where coordination was failing because the drawings were difficult to use in the field. The plans were damaged and handwritten notes were difficult to read. The plans were marked up with notes and direction, but these notes are easily lost or forgotten about when the set is moved or replaced. I want to make sure that the work is built correctly the first time, and that every field decision is recorded in a way that is easily accessible. My preference for digital tools started a long time ago when I was a project intern. One of my jobs back then was to manually replace drawing revisions in a physical master set. I remember the difficulty of that work. I would be in the trailer undoing heavy metal bindings, carefully putting in the new pages and marking the old ones as void. But it was not just about the drawings. I also had to track the handwritten notes and comments that belonged on those pages. It was a slow process that took lots of my time during the week. I knew that I was not going to work that way throughout my career. I realized if the master set and handwritten notes were this hard to manage in the trailer, they were nearly impossible to keep accurate in the field. As I continued to learn and grow, I saw the high cost of sticking to old ways. I was working with a subcontractor where the installers in the field were working on an outdated set of drawings. We had spent a lot of time in the office working out specific coordination details, only to see the field crew using the wrong drawings because their office was disorganized. It was discouraging. That project ended up with water leak issues and a significant amount of rework. A single error in a drawing, such as an incorrectly sloped window detail, or a missing flashing note, can easily cost the project thousands of dollars in unplanned labor and materials. We had to take out and replace parts of the system several times because the crew foreman was looking at a set of plans that did not include our corrections. I saw then that when a subcontractor is failing to manage information, you cannot be someone who just simply moves files back and forth. You have to provide the organized, accurate source of truth they are missing. If you do not have a way to easily access the current plans and record field notes in real time, you cannot catch all those mistakes before they become expensive. This is why I decided to make all project documents, tasks, and field notes accessible on a mobile device. I'm curious how you manage drawings and field notes while things are moving fast. Do you have a specific way to track changes that works well for you? Or have you ever dealt with a mistake because of a missed revision or a forgotten field note? Let me know in the comments. Improving sidewalks starts with having your drawings and notes directly downloaded to your mobile device. I do not rely on the job site internet connection. I do not want to wait for drawings or field notes to load while I'm standing there with a crew foreman. Everything is prepared for instant offline access. I have refined this process to ensure that I can find a detail or a past note quickly. However, this level of access is still rare in our industry. It's crazy to see someone in a position of high authority flipping through pages of handwritten notes, trying to find a decision that was made weeks ago. I can only imagine how much more successful these leaders would be if they could regain their time they spend manually searching for information. The manual search isn't just frustrating for the project. It is time being taken away from your focus. By using this digital system, I can search every field note and every task. I can recall the date a submittal was approved, or the wording of a response while I am standing there in the field looking at a drawing. This speed is what allows you to lead the conversation. When you have the plans and notes immediately available to you, you are in the position to provide direction. For those of us who prefer quiet focus instead of social interaction, this is an advantage. Walking onto a project and being confronted with different questions from multiple trades can feel like a high-pressure environment. But when I am using my digital, organized system, I am not relying on my memory or social energy to manage that pressure. I am relying on the data. It gives me confidence because the answers and the records are immediately available to me. Once you have the information, you need a way to ensure that it's accurate. This leads to a specific habit that I use on every walk, which I call the revision check. Before I discuss a detail with the crew foreman, I zoom in to the bottom right corner of the drawing sheet on the tablet to ensure that I have the latest revision. Making sure that you are looking at the correct version is a necessary first step before any collaboration can happen. Because my plans and my notes are all in my digital system, I can immediately record any clarification or discussion that we have in that conversation. I usually stand next to the crew foreman so we can look at the screen together. I may use a stylus to circle a specific sill detail or flashing that we are discussing, and I type a quick note right there with the foreman. By involving the foreman in the view on screen, the interaction changes. You move from being someone who is holding a device to someone who is providing a solution in real time. This shift does more than just save time on site. Since the devices are synchronized, those notes and the markups on the drawings are immediately synced back to my monitors at my desk. I never have to write a note a second time or remember what drawing I was looking at, because those field records and office tasks are all part of the same digital system. Diligence in how we handle information is important. When I spend significant time updating a binder or rewriting notes into an email, I am taking that time away from my other responsibilities. High-performance construction management requires full attention and presence during the workday, but it also requires being able to finish the day knowing the work has been done correctly. The time I save by having my plans and notes organized in the field is time I can use to focus on my next high-priority task. If my file system is organized, I can more easily focus on my priorities as they change. I don't have to worry if I missed a detail or I forgot a task, because I have already categorized it in my system the moment I created the note. I can trust my records so my mind can rest. There is a principle in the book of 1 Corinthians that says that all things should be done decently and in order. In our industry, that begins with how we manage our data and our daily tasks. Taking time in the trailer to ensure that your devices are synchronized and that your drawings are updated is how you protect your peace of mind. You are managing the project's future, not just reacting to past events. My challenge for you this week is to switch to a digital task and note-taking system for your next field walk. Try leaving your side notebook behind and see how it affects your speed. Notice how much better it feels when your field records are organized before you even get back to your desk. Digital organization only works if you have a clear plan for your data. To see how I communicate these field observations to the rest of my team, you should watch my video on how to draft the perfect RFI next. It is a core structure for the organized field management we discussed today. Regain your focus, and I will see you on the next one.